Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by thanking this House for being magnanimous enough and remembering the people of Asal counties. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to appreciate Senator, former Governor Roba, for really seeking this House to adjourn to discuss a matter which, unless we develop clear policies on how to deal with the drought, you will find that most of our population will be decimated. Mr. Speaker, if you visit Kajiado County today, if you visit Samburu County today, if you visit part of Narok County today, those counties are littered with carcasses of dead animals. Those counties are littered with carcasses of domestic animals. Mr. Speaker, 2 days ago, I went to Kajiado to attend a function, and then I happened to go and visit my land. I found myself praying to God, asking God to remember us, because there are things that we cannot control. There are things that we can control. And I'm happy that, because I'm one of those people who give credit to where credit is due. I'm happy to hear the President talking about issues to do with the environment. I want to request him to go further and set a day in every week for us to regrow our forest. Today, the courts in Narok made a very good thing when it comes to the issue of Mao Forest. Mr. Speaker, before we move people out of Mao Forest, if you went to the Masai Mara Game Reserve, you would cry. That is our biggest source of revenue. We generate anywhere between 3 to 5 billion shillings every year. But before we saved Mao Forest, you would go to Mara River and you'll find hippopotamus crying. And that is what we depend on. Now, it is no longer hippopotamus. It is human beings. It is us. Mr. Speaker, this is something very, very sensitive. It is very emotive. And I hope that we can develop policies that can be able to support county governments when it comes to, I think we're given 5 minutes, and I believe I've not spoken for 5 minutes. Mr. Speaker, you know, the problems that we have in this country are all man-made problems. We have destroyed our forests. We need to start by taking the environment seriously. Number two, we have heard that there's a lot of water in Turkana. And today, Mr. Speaker, if you go to Turkana, you'll also cry because people are dying there. I remember during the campaigns, we'd go and we'll talk to people, and we'll all turn around and say, Jesus, can we look for some money to help these people buy food? Because it becomes that there. If you go to Kajiado County today, 60% of all the cows in Kajiado County are in Narok. You know, those ones which survived, because people buy them. You'll find on a daily basis people walking. It is really a dire situation. I hope that county governments, and this time around, governors, please stop being greedy. Stop, taking all the money that belongs to, emergency funds and misappropriating it. And I'm saying this because I've been a member of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, and I've seen, sometimes you see things and you just say, God, please have mercy on us. Right now, we need to prepare. We might be lucky enough and get long rains coming in. County government right now need to establish emergency funds. They also need to prepare right now. They need to build water plants. If there is any money coming from donor agencies, let us send them to these Asal counties. In fact, when it comes to the issue of division of revenue, when it comes to the issue of additional allocation of revenue, this time around, Treasury must consider sending more money, allocating more money to deal with this issue of drought. Because if they don't do that, very soon, no one will come here. In fact, I was in a camp called Satao, and I could see the camp was full of tourists. But what are they observing? They're actually waiting to see whether an elephant will die, because this is how dire it is. So, Mr. Speaker, in summary, if I can summarize in about 60 seconds, it all behooves us to take it as our personal responsibility to be our brothers' keepers. We know there are counties which are celebrating. We know when you go to Eldoret, when you go to other parts of this country, you know, it rains on a daily basis. Please, let us think of food security. Let us think of coming up with policies that will be able to support our people. Because some parts of Kajiado, some parts of Narok has not been really hardly hit. But when I see our families, because, you know, we Maasais, we are polygamists. We have wives in Kajiado, in Narok, you know, and sometimes we don't even have boundaries. Well, but when you see your family in Kajiado crying, you also cry. So, Mr. Speaker, in summary, I think this is a matter that the current administration must take it seriously, allocate additional resources to counties so that they can deal specifically on the issues of drought. Otherwise, I thank you, and I hope that action will come.